For those of you that don't know me, my name's Pete. Hey, thank you very much. A few things I'd like to say while your chili's going down before you get back on the dance floor, which I hope you all will. A night like this doesn't happen easily without a few people's help. So first of all, I'd like to say a few thank yous. Firstly, thank you to Sainsbury's and the Co-op for providing some of the ingredients for the meals you had tonight, which I hope are all right. Are they okay? Yeah. Most importantly, local caterer and keen runner with the Crusaders, Brian Wright from Wright's Choice Catering, who cooked the chilies for me and the rice and dumped me out of a big hole. So they've ensured you've all been fed this evening. And thank you to the band, the Woodsiders. Making sure you get some exercise. And thank you to everyone that's sold tickets on my behalf. I couldn't have sold all these tickets on my own. You know who you are, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And all my waiters and waitresses this evening, you've been marvellous. Okay, I'm going to briefly, and I will try and keep it brief, talk about why I'm trying to raise money for Macmillan. Every day in the UK, 822 people are told the news that they have cancer. That's every day. In November in 2009, I became one of those numbers. 2 million people suffer with cancer at the moment in the UK, and that is set to double by 2030. 4 in 10 of us will be diagnosed with one form of cancer or another, and I can guarantee that it will touch everyone in this room's lives. Survival rates are increasing, which is brilliant, but that also means Macmillan's resources have to stretch that much further. Macmillan aim to provide support right through from the moment of diagnosis, through treatment and the ongoing effects, and are often there at the very end. They provide advice, financial, practical and emotional support. They raise awareness and they campaign for change. 100 years ago this year, Macmillan was founded, and in that first year they handed out £12 in grants. Last year Macmillan spent £96 million on healthcare support and awareness, all of which has to come from donations or the sale of merchandising. In Hampshire alone we have over 400 people who last year were in receipt of financial assistance from Macmillan, and there are over 100 healthcare professionals based in the county. Currently, 3 in 4 people living with cancer are reached and helped by Macmillan. November the 16th, 2009, Helen and I were sat in my consultant's office. We were told I had cancer. At that moment, the earth fell away. I've never been so scared or so uncertain of anything in my life. It was an aggressive bone cancer in my upper right arm. It was life-threatening, and I would be operated on the following week. Hopefully it was caught in time and it hadn't spread to my lungs, but there weren't, and there still aren't, any guarantees. Also in the room was my Macmillan support nurse, also called Helen. Helen and I sat down with her and talked it all through. She understood what we were going through and knew exactly how we were feeling. That initial emotional and practical support she provided us with will never be forgotten. She was there when I went into hospital and made sure I had whatever I needed and any concerns were discussed. I had my upper right arm bone removed and replaced with steel. One more operation, endless physio and lots of scans later, and we're here today. I recently read of a 17-year-old lad called Alex Lewis. He had exactly the same arm pains that I had and was diagnosed with the same type of tumour. He had exactly the same operation I had, but it was soon discovered it had spread to his lungs. 3 years later, Alex sadly died. I've been so incredibly lucky. I was diagnosed in a matter of months earlier than Alex, before it had spread. Because I've been lucky, and because Macmillan were there at the darkest moment of my life, I'm doing what I'm doing. Next week, I'll be at the airport. I'll have had all my jabs, I'll have my phrase book in hand, I'll have all my cold weather clothing packed, and I'll be flying to Newcastle for the Great North Run. Someone read. 3 weeks later, I'll be flying to Tanzania to trek up Africa's highest mountain, Kilimanjaro. 7 days with 27 other brave souls, all with their own reasons to raise money for Macmillan. I've raised just under £7,000 up to now, and tonight we'll hopefully raise a bit more. About half your ticket cost will go to Macmillan. And if you've had a good night, and you thought, well, actually that's quite a cheap night out, no bar, bring your own booze, perhaps you give a few quid on your way out in one of the buckets, or maybe more, and help Macmillan help those suffering with cancer. You can donate cash, there's buckets around, or you can donate by text, the numbers all over the place. I don't think you can miss it, especially if you go to lose. As Winston Churchill said, we make a living from what we get, and we make a life from what we give. If I could fly home in a month, knowing that I've raised enough money to help fund just one nurse who can be there to help just one family, as we were helped, then it'll all have been worth it. Thanks, have a good night.